Cheers.
Wow.
All right.
What a way to come in live.
Y'all just missed the best conversation.
Like,
really, there's nothing
really
we can do on the show that can top the conversation we just had. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not technicolor in between. It's your boy, Rob.
It's your boy, Weekend Herb.
And it's Mephisto's advocate, Mr. Petty.
And it's the guy who is being directed by the guy that watches porn for all the wrong reasons. That's true.
My God.
We're good.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us here on Blerds and Whiskey Live. We got a great show lined up for you as always. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but gentlemen, tell us what you're drinking.
1738. Finish that.
Yeah, baby. I'm drinking the classic gin and tonic.
This week, I was at a birthday party or a birthday celebration yesterday, and I went around and grabbed 6 unfinished drinks, and I poured them into my cup, and now I'm finishing them.
You still drinking like a frat boy? You still drinking like you in college? Like you're an adult, man. You're not 22.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
I hate you. I hate you. Okay. I'm doing cherry Coke and Jameson IPA. That's what I'm sipping on today. Yeah. So Weekend Herb, if you will.
Hey, got it right.
I did. Regale us with.
Yeah, let's get to the church announcements, man. Herb's Blerds. Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms. Also on OTTV. Watch prior episodes of Blerds and Whiskey, as well as the homie Overtime Sims on Roku on the station. We want to go in and say we want to give our thoughts and prayers to the people that's in Haiti, New Orleans, and New York for the disasters that's been going on. Haiti had a earthquake, I believe it was 7.3, and the death toll is currently at 2.2 thousand. Also, 300 people are still missing. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Also, as far as with the Hurricane Ida that's went through New Orleans, they said it was pretty much just as bad or worse than Katrina. We want to send our thoughts and prayers to them. And New York City, it was like flooded, mass flooding through the. If you look on the internet, you can go and see there was mass flooding in the sub.
It's mad water, B.
It's everywhere. It looks like the day after tomorrow, almost.
New York's about to be a city of Atlantis. So quick general census check with us and the comment section. How many of y'all knew what happened in Haiti?
Crickets.
Honestly, I did not know.
Yeah, see, it's one of the mainstream medias and news outlets don't really share a lot of international news, especially involving people of a certain skin tone. So just a heads up, like just doing research and stuff like that. Y'all just get, we try to keep everybody informed. Shout out to Rita for informing us too. But like, it's a shame that we have to find out these things through other sources as opposed to the actual news sources that's supposed to inform us. So yeah,
hundreds of years later, Haiti is still being punished for kicking slavery off of its island. Still being punished for it. So that's why we never did anything about
supremacy.
Haiti.
You mad, bro?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead. What's the next one?
Also, rest in peace to Ed Asner. He's 91 years old. He had numerous voice roles as well as acting roles in prior TV shows and movies. So rest in peace to Ed Asner.
He's flying that big balloon house up into the sky with his wife.
Yeah. Shang-Chi came out just this Friday. I saw it. It was amazing. We're not going to spoil anything, so...
Spoilers.
Roughly, how many shots would you get? The 5-shot scale?
4. I thought it was really good.
Okay. All right. Despite Aquafina being in it, yeah, I'll go see it.
Yeah, I just Moving on.
No, I don't. So wait. You said because despite Aquafina being in it, I don't know. Did we ever talk about that on air?
We did not. I don't know if you want to really go there because
yeah,
I will.
I was about to say I don't want to go there because I can't say anything nice about her.
Wow.
And
so those who aren't aware, Aquafina is a Asian
cultural appropriator
comedian who decided to do verbal blackface. She built her whole, not even just the show, she built her whole comedy career off of sounding like she's from a certain area of New York and a certain demographic. Come to find out that she has nothing to do with that section at all. She's from Greenwich. Like, you know, she's like where Vince McMahon is at. Like, there's no form of black people there. Like, she probably just watched MTV and listened to like a couple of CDs and figured out like, yo, that's what I'm gonna do. And
so she's the only person of color out there.
Maybe her family and other people like her, but I mean, in general, like, I would say there are hardly any black people there for her to say that she grew up in that environment, because a lot of people try to say, oh, she's from New York. She talks like she's from New York. She's from New York State. I won't say New York City, but then come to find out that her whole Hollywood career, she's done roles where she doesn't do traditional Chinese accent, because she finds that demeaning and she knows it's a stereotype that she doesn't want to play, which means that she does know the power of stereotypes and accents that she has. Therefore, her whole black accent, she knew that she was doing the verbal blackface. So there's been a lot of backlash coming to Shang-Chi for her being in that movie. I don't necessarily agree with the banning or boycotting that movie for her. Her future, especially since she's not even like the main cast member. She's not even like, it's not even her feature film. If it's a show, like, I don't watch her show, and if it's a movie about her, I'm not watching it. But it's a Shang-Chi movie, so it's not about her.
Yeah. WuTang season 2 coming out on.
Didn't you mention that like 3 weeks ago?
No, originally we thought it was coming out in October, but it's coming out this Wednesday. So look on, check it out on Hulu.
Yeah, get your bubble coats ready.
Yeah. Heels is a new show that is on Stars. It stars the homie
Gary.
Right, Gary Peebles.
Gary Peebles.
My bad, homie. Gary Peebles, our favorite stuntman, is going to be in the show Heels. So be sure to support him by checking out that show.
So, quick question: Have you watched it, or do you know?
I saw the first episode this morning.
Do you know what he plays? Is he a stuntman, or does he play a wrestler? Because I know personally he hates speaking roles. He'd rather do action than actually talk.
Gary's not the star of the show.
I know he's not the star, but it's a movie. It's a show about wrestlers. He has the build. He can play a wrestler.
So he's doing he's taking a lot of bumps for the actors.
Okay.
So he's in his regular position what he does. So just yeah.
I know he personally hates speaking roles, and so he tries to avoid them at all costs. I just wonder if he actually had a speaking role or an acting role in this.
I just wanted to make sure, and I'm going to give him his flowers. Yes, he does an amazing job. This is another opportunity for a black man to be in a predominantly white role sometimes, because they don't usually cast black guys to do this stuff. So congratulations to Gary on landing this and participating in this. That's the whole point of bringing that up.
I appreciate y'all shouting out your guy, but it's Stephen Amell's show. The Stephen Amell who used to formerly play the Arrow on the CW. It's his show. It also has a bunch of other people in it. James Harrison, former Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker, also plays a wrestler in it. It got my attention just based off of that alone. So, I mean, it looks like a pretty interesting show.
Yeah.
All right, Mike is on. Mike is hot. The guy that plays his brother. If you haven't watched Vikings, that is a pretty good. Yeah.
Oh no, it's an excellent show. I finished up the first.
It's got CM Punk in it, so yeah, let's go for
it. Also, Texas has abortion rights situation going on right now. I'm gonna pass the mic over to the fellas because it's Cam.
All right. So for those of you who aren't aware, daylight savings times happen in Texas. So instead of setting your clocks back a few hours, they set it back 48 years. They pretty much took away what Roe versus Wade. essentially what they're doing is any woman who or anyone who has an abortion is liable for lawsuits and jail time. Doesn't matter the circumstances of the pregnancy. So if they happen to be assaulted and they are pregnant, they by law the baby still has to be born. Otherwise, they will face like jail time. Not just them, the doctors who perform it. If the nurses on the staff is there, they could get caught up in it too. If they take an Uber up there, the Uber driver is also liable. The only person, ironically, that isn't held of any liability for this whole transaction is the actual father of the baby too. So I find that interesting that, you know, the father also is literally like not even in the equation. Texas, the places where they say my body, my choice when it comes to mask mandates and vaccine, but when it comes to, you know, women, it's her body, like it's your body, my choice.
Like,
so essentially, the state of Texas has made the Handmaid's Tale a real life thing.
pretty much.
I mean, it's once again, like people wonder how Juneteenth can happen, and Texas just shows you every week why it was a thing. I mean, like
Ted Cruz is wilding. Like
Ted Cruz, Greg Abbott, if you're a politician in Texas, just go ahead and kill yourself because you're a terrible person.
Like, you know, every day I keep thinking, man, Florida's a state we should just like Bugs Bunny should saw it all. I'm like, we should bring that soul into Texas a little bit.
Oh,
man. Next
Okay.
one.
Texas.
Anything in the comments?
Checking the comments on your Facebook, Chuck Clark, of course, because he's always here. Hangover Trey, shut up, Darren Smith. Shout out to Darren Smith. He makes a mean drink. Chuck Clark, I did the day it happened. People barely knew their president basically get assassinated by us.
Talking about Haiti, because Haiti's president was assassinated a couple months ago.
Okay, didn't even hear about that. I'm live.
Wow.
And let's see.
I'm calling it Marvel in the Bronx. Side note, if the fight choreograph looked familiar, it's because Brad Allen had a hand in it. Also, rest in peace, Brad Allen.
So I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna take it with that part real quick. Shout out to Brad Allen. Brad Allen was a white guy who was part of Jackie Chan's stunt team. He's from Australia. So I'm gonna tell you right now. Just think about what I just said. A white guy was on Jackie Chan's stunt team. He did have a feature role in one of his movies called Gorgeous, where he played like Jackie Chan's like what 5'8", 5'9". And this guy was kind of shorter than Jackie Chan, so he was probably like 5'5". But you know, it was a really good fight scene in a romantic comedy movie with martial arts called Gorgeous.
I think all romantic comedies should have a pretty good fight scene in it, because that's how they win each other's love. If they fight for it.
Oh man, it's like when you say it out loud, it's like, oh man, it's a romantic comedy with a good fight scene. What? Rom-com action?
But that concludes the church announcements.
All right.
Oh, man. Yes.
We had more.
Did we have more?
No, we did. No, that was it. All right, so awkward transition. Let's go ahead and do another shout out or RMP or thoughts and prayers or whatever to their family members. For those of you who aren't aware, in pro wrestling, earlier this week we lost another wrestler. Her name was Daphne Unger. You might remember her from the late WCW days. She was a gothic type manager, teamed up with Crowbar and David Flair. She's known for just randomly screaming, so she got the name Scream Queen Daphne. Her body of work is very underrated. She was one of those people that, like, she didn't make it when WCW got bought by WWF. They didn't buy her contract, so she pretty much was doing a lot of indie stuff and TNA stuff. But but finding out as you study more about her, you find out that she was a big hand in the women's wrestling scene for nearly 20 years. She's at a hand in helping out like younger talent. She's transitioned to help other talents, you know, cultivate and stuff like that. So she's one of those wrestlers where they may not make it to the Hall of Fame or the higher accolades of like the top tier lights and stuff like that. But her body of work is laid within the foundation and legacy of every other female wrestler that's gone since 2000 to now. Like, if there wasn't a Daphne, there wouldn't have been a Paige. There wouldn't be a Shotzi Blackheart. There wouldn't be a Lita. You know, she broke the cookie mold. Like, before you had the blonde, you know, like Trey says, another fucking blonde. She was gothic. She had pale skin. She had black hair. She had tattoos. She went against the mold, and obviously Vince didn't like that. So, you know, we know where Vince's mind is at, you know, but he's still stuck in the 40s. Yeah. But but unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized if I say the whole thing, but unfortunately, she was on IG Live having what was essentially a mental breakdown. While in her chat, she was saying that she can't take it no more. Her whole friends and family and people were trying to reach her, and nobody could reach her. She took her own life that following Monday morning is when they found the body. It brings up an interesting. She's had, you know, CTE. Was it CTE? CTE. Yeah, she's had CTE. She's gone through like the pains of a lot of wrestlers. Unfortunately, a lot of wrestlers don't get, you know, when they get diagnosed, their brain isn't used for science after they're gone to find out what happened. Yeah. Along with a lot of stuff, the pressures of the industry in general, mental health has been coming up a lot recently. And the fact is, like I said, she's had a hand in a lot of the legacy of a lot of wrestlers from, like I said, the indie scene and stuff like that. You can tell by Twitter the amount of help, impact that this particular death had on a lot of people. Like, I remember like that Sunday night when she was live and people were like trying to reach out to her. All of Twitter was like, yo, like anyone who has a known address, send police to there as a wellness check, do all this stuff. And I feel like Brody Lee's death. I feel like this death is going to affect the wrestling industry for a long time, especially, like I said, when it comes to things like pressure, mental health, and how people are just treated and dealt with in this industry.
Yeah, because oftentimes, I mean, the people that we don't know about, or people who are kind of behind the scenes in all phases of entertainment and things of this nature, they're often cast aside. You know, people like absence does not make the heart grow fonder in most instances. You know, and a lot of these people are just forgotten about and lost, and they're lost to the times. And we kind of have issues with that in our society, where we cast people out, we forget about them, we don't reach out because we get so inundated with our own selfishness and our own, oh well, I have to do this for me and I have to worry about me and all of that stuff. And I mean, people, as much as people like to say they're loners, and as much as people like to say, oh, you know, people are introverted and things of that nature, people still need human connections. People still need to be reached out to. People still need to have bonds formed with people. You still need to interact and deal with people. And I know a lot of people who say, oh, I don't need that. I don't want that. Hell, I'm one of those people that says that. But at the end of the day, I still need a human connection. I still need that feeling of kinship with folks, because, you know, this is a big, lonely marble that we live on. It's overly populated, but it's a big, lonely place when you don't feel the love and you don't have those affirmations, you know, and things like this happen way more often than they should in a society that's filled with people.
I agree. I remember her, but at the same time, I don't, because she was more so behind this WCW thing, but I'm sorry to hear about her loss. But I do want to say one thing. If anyone out there is feeling any type of way, if you're feeling alone, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, make sure you use the tools that are available for you. For example, 24/7, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, phone number 1-800-273-8255, or go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Check those sites out if you need help. If you're listening to this show join in the comments. Talk to us. We will talk to you too. I'm not going to say we're going to talk about that in particular, but if you need people to talk to, this is a perfect platform where you can interact with the host. But if you do need help, make sure you reach out to somebody or do something. Go outside, talk to somebody. Don't hold it in.
Also, I want to send a shout out to WWE because as much as we go ahead and bash them all the time, they actually did take the time out to go and give mental health awareness to the rest of the wrestlers on their roster. They said they would to pay for all of their bills as far as like therapy, mental health checks, whatever it is they need, they will go ahead and take care of them. So as much as we bash them, we got to send credit their way. Guys, we all go through that stuff. Me in particular, I'm not going to give any details or anything, but I need my crew right here to talk to sometimes. When I need somebody to talk to, I call them up. When I'm going through my stuff, if I don't want to talk to my wife, I talk to them. If I want to talk to somebody just in particular, I reach out to people. So I'm telling you guys, you are worth it. You are worth it. Be sure to reach out to any other person that you think that you can talk to. Or if you're not so sure, what's the worst that can happen? Call that person. Reach out to somebody. This is always great to just talk to somebody just to get it off your chest. Everybody needs some form of therapy. So, I mean, I know for me personally, this is my therapy every week. When I'm on here with my guys talking about Blerd shit, I love to talk about this stuff. If I want to get away from the world, this is my freedom. So just guys, be sure to reach out to anybody. You're all worth it. So, yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of like, put a piggyback or end this whole thing. Me personally, that's the internet. Why not share bare your soul? I self-deprecating humor. I joke about like how much I hate myself, but I really do. And the thing is that a lot of times people often wonder, like myself, like, yes, I can be an asshole, but I do find myself being like overly nice and caring and reaching out to, as you can hear, like my friends, like when I know that they need to hear the love the most. I think that probably stems from the fact that me personally, because I know how it feels to hate yourself or how it feels to not feel that love, that I overly exert my love that I would love to have for myself to others, if that makes sense. Like it's like a compensation thing. Like I know, like Rick said, Rick says like I'd rather be alone and I'm secluded, and I know that, and I'd probably hug Rick more times than anyone's probably allowed to, just because I know that he needs it. I'd be like, hey Rick, what's going on? He's like, get off. All right, fine, but whatever. Like like anyone else would probably would be slammed through the table, but me, I get away with it because it comes from a place of it comes from a place of love. I'm not even sure how we can transition this into the next subtopic, but yeah, like I said, we all you got people feel like they're alone in this world, and you're not. Like, trust me, there's someone out there that's going to hear you. Everyone's going to listen. Now, the thing is, we may not have all the answers, and I'm not saying we have the answers, but I've said this to many people before. I don't have the answers. I can't help you on that aspect, but what I can do is I can be along with the journey with you. You know what I mean? Like, we can figure out this answer together. Like, we can figure this out. I'm going to be right there with you. Like, if you're in pain, we're all in pain. I'll be in pain with you. Like, it may not be ideal. I'm not a therapist, but I love you.
Love you too, homie.
Love you too, homie.
All right.
And also, I don't want people to I mean, just not. I don't want to, shit all over everything we just said, but also that's not a free invitation for people to come up and try and hug me. Or
you gotta be elite. You gotta be elite.
Try to just walk up and just, hey, it's Rick from the show. And then you do that, and then that's not gonna be good. But then also, so real quick, off camera, guys, just put up the number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number again is 1-800-273-8255. And just if you guys are feeling down, or if you need a boost, or you need someone to talk to, again, there are so many outlets for you. But then also, if you were to try and take on the challenge of trying to hug me in person, what you can do is you can go to blerdsandwhiskey.com and go to our partners tab and go to FNXFit.com. You can go to FNX Fit and get everything you need to try and increase your body mass, your strength, get your mind clear, pre-workouts, I can't think of it. Whey proteins, all of that stuff for fitness. And then you can use the promo code FNX Blerds13 to get 15% off your purchases. And then you can also try to hug me if you won't succeed. And that's at FNXFit.com.
Oh man.
You know, I could have used some FNX Fit though. My man Tyrone Woodley.
Jesus.
Because all right. I love boxing. I'm gonna start this right now with the truth. I love boxing. I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s. Like I grew up in the 80s where boxing was like becoming like the thing. So I had the Tyson era, the Sugar Ray Leonard. Like that was my era, right? And then okay, so God rest his soul. My dad had the cable box with the black chip in it. So I saw all them boxing matches for free. And the scrambler. Yeah.
Yes.
So I grew up loving like I watched De La Hoya, the Golden Boy. Mm-hmm. I watched like I said, I watched Tyson. He got out and he was just headhunting dudes and he was just fighting like a bunch of no-name jobbers with gloves. Like I saw the Holyfield twice, the Lennox Lewis fights. Like I've seen all of them. When I tell you I love boxing, I love boxing. Or maybe I should say I loved boxing. Because currently right now, you got these two boxing colonizers coming through.
Boxing colonizers.
Yes, you got these two dudes coming through. And I'm going to say, they straight up I'm not trying to be a purist when I say they're ruining the sport because, like, let's be real. Like, get that bag, do what you got to do. Cool. But, like, this last boxing match just shows you just the state of where they're at in the boxing world. Because I'm like, with exception to like Rick and maybe off-camera guy, I'm gonna ask everyone a couple of questions. How many boxers can you name right now under the age of 30?
Crickets.
Anybody?
Crickets.
Anybody? Hey, comment section. Say something. Can y'all name any boxers under the age of 30 right now? Nah. Y'all can't.
It's unfortunate too, because actually I wasn't gonna pay for this fight, but I actually wanted to see the results of it because I know Tyrone Woodley has been on the downslide for his MMA career for the past 3 or 4 years or
about 4 years, yeah.
Right, but you're going in there against someone who is clearly on drugs. I don't care what anybody says. Jake Paul is heavily on drugs. We got one.
I knew he was
gonna get it. I knew Ebony Wiggins on YouTube gave us Javante Tank Davis. Okay. That's one.
Right. That's one.
You got. Let's keep them going. Stay off of Google. But no. I just knew I had hopes. I was just like, all right. I know Woodley ain't in the best of his right now. He's not in the best of shape as far as fighting goes. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. But I was like, I know he's gonna pull one of his Tyron Woodley punches out of his ass and knock this
knockout power is crazy.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I just knew he was gonna knock the tattoos off of this dumb bitch. But then he gets in there and doesn't throw any punches. Like he just stands there like this for the whole time that they're fighting. And I'm just like, this is fucking horse shit. Like you just off of anger alone, you should have been able to beat the shit out of this, like you said, this boxing colonizer. This dude who keeps on saying that he grew up rough. Bitch, you ain't grow up rough.
You grew up on Disney.
Rich. Right. Yeah, you grew up on Disney. You grew up on the Disney Channel, and then you and your brother discovered cocaine and meth. And now all of a sudden, mind
y'all, the Paul brothers have only been boxing professionally for 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah. You consider that professional?
Logan Paul, most of his bouts have been like exhibition.
Yeah.
So when he fought, Logan Paul's the taller, older
it's the older brother. Yeah.
Right. So Logan Paul,
when he gets in the most trouble.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. I don't know. Jake Paul gets him. Okay, so Logan Paul's antics. Logan Paul's antics gets him in more trouble. Jake Paul's mouth gets him in more trouble.
And also, Jake Paul was under an FBI investigation for some shit that happened in his house a couple months ago.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
But
checking out the Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, all right. So I mean, all right. So this is the state of boxing right now. There is no more casual fans of boxing. You got boxing purists like me who will watch it, trying to get some semblance of like what we had in the '90s as far as boxing was. But like at this day and age, like it's hard to find anything. Like I ask people like, what weight division was Jake Paul fighting in? Nobody knows. Canelo Alvarez, his next fight is going to have to be Jake Paul. That's the only money he's going to be making.
But I mean, is it possible to say that boxing is dead? Like, I mean, I know we do have boxers out there, but what nobody stands out. Nobody's out there. The last big. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm thinking just to answer your question. I think as far
I didn't even finish my question, but go ahead.
My question or his question?
Just the fact that it's celebrity boxing. That's the thing now. And that's the like we taken away the actual sport of boxing and just made it a fucking joke. That's why you see a lot of people watching UFC now, in my opinion.
I think there are two different types of fans. There are boxing fans and there are UFC fans, and there are fans that are fans of both. But what I was alluding to was the pure boxing that we have out there. Those fans are starting to go away. They're starting to disappear. They're starting to. I don't want to watch anymore, or there's nothing that's driving them to do so. So is boxing itself, is the sport of boxing going the way of, I can't even think of another major sport that's passed away, but is it going out? It's going out of style.
So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna throw this out there too. Like I said, I've been a fan of boxing, but I've peeped that boxing has been on a decline well before the Paul brothers came into it. Yeah. If I have to say this, and this is the truth about boxing, like if boxing is dying, all the Paul brothers doing is they're just the final symptom, or they're coding. It's coding right now.
So I have an analogy for you guys about the sport of boxing, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the movie Crank? Crank 2.
Yeah.
If boxing is dying, then boxing is essentially Jason Statham's character from Crank, right? Now, here's the reason why I say that, right? There, generally speaking, there are like there's a lot of boxing going on, and I mean it's still around, but like nobody's really paying attention to it. So that's where we come in with the dying part, right? But then all of a sudden they go to an electric junction box and they grab onto it and it supercharges it, right? I'm saying that because Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor both made over $100 million from their fight. You know what I mean? When Tank Davis fights, Tank Davis ain't hurting for money because he's making $30 million, $40 million, $50 million from a fight. You know what I mean? And like when boxing still, when they have like legitimate contenders, people that people care about, and not just the Paul brothers out here doing whatever the hell it is that they call this shit, there is a lot of money to still be made in boxing. So yeah, I agree that yes, it's dying, but then at the same time, it's a they got a defibrillator machine running around with them that's just keeping their asses going.
So right now you would equate boxing to being someone dying of thirst, and there's some drop of water out there somewhere for them to
I equate it to somebody being poisoned with a synthetic Asian poison.
So I had a bunch of questions about like the state of boxing in general. Like I said, like what weight division was Jake Paul fighting in? Nobody knows. Like I said, because I've been in boxing fandom for a while, my biggest thing was I think the last great heavyweight was probably Lennox Lewis. After that, I don't know, man. Like as far as big name draws, like after Lennox Lewis, there wasn't like heavyweight division used to be like the main event. The middleweights and the light heavyweights and the welterweights were like undercards, and then out of nowhere, like De La Hoya and all these other people, like the welterweights that started becoming like the main events. Then
I mean,
you don't really see
Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they're drawing money.
Yeah.
And if
guys, I'm sorry, give me one moment. I'll be right back.
And if we can ever get this Anthony Joshua and one of those other two to fight, that's going to make a ton of money as well. I mean, there are heavyweights out. There are there are three
heavyweights out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Then there's also this other guy. He's a Nigerian American guy. I don't know his name off the back. I normally have a name, but I forgot his name because he's a boxer and no one cares. But he's knocking people the fuck out. Actually, the viral clip of a couple years ago where the guy at the opening bell when they're
And the dude walked out.
Yeah. That Nigerian guy that he was fighting against, that's the guy I'm talking about. He kills people, and he's coming along. Of course, he has to learn. He has to get to about 25, 30 fights before he actually becomes, you know what I mean, in the upper echelon. Yeah, but I mean, essentially, he's Nigerian Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this then. Do you think the fight was fixed?
Oh, absolutely. I think every one of the Paul fights were fixed.
Yeah.
I think every one of them were.
So I think it was fixed on the same lines as like when Tyrone Woodley asked for a rematch and they said no, and his face went like, wait, what?
Right, that's not what we talked about.
Right.
We talked about this before this shit.
Right. He thought he was gonna make a big payday again, and they were like, "Nah, you're old news. You've had your chance.
You be good,
on."
bro.
And he's like, wait, what? Like, you can almost see it. Also, in my opinion, I don't know if this is Tyrone. Like you said, Tyrone Woodley's mindset was off, but like when he hit him with that one good shot and he had him on the ropes, like literally the only thing that was holding Paul up was the ropes. I know for a fact any MMA fighter would have still finished the fight. He did not finish that fight. When he didn't finish the fight, and then he kind of went back to his like half-ass defense that third round, I was like, yeah, he lost. He thought he had him. He thought he had him. That one power shot was going to get him the points. So either he miscalculated how boxing points go, or it was fixed, and he didn't want to end it too soon because he wanted to draw out the payday for it.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Herb. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I would have thought way before this fight, a lot of fights that in boxing were fixed. I mean,
that's the nature of boxing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a money draw at the end of the day. I mean, it's everybody wants to see. I mean, other than the Wilder fight that Rick was just talking about, I honestly don't know any other fights like that. Mainstream fights would grab my attention. I know there's some out there, but that would grab my attention. Like, oh, I got to see this. So I mean, like the first Wilder fight, it was like, damn, that was a good fight. I want to see the next one. He got his chin rocked on the second one. All right, what you gonna do this time, bro? It pretty much is just like, okay, what else is there other than some bullshit ass? Paul brothers are gonna. They look around the whole entire area. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people fighting because it's your YouTube fans. That's what it's come.
I mean, that fight drew more audience members for a guy who's been boxing 3 years than people who've been boxing 20 years.
Exactly, and it's just that's just my
But that's a symptom. My fault. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But that's a symptom of the time. You know what I mean? Because they have all of these young kids who call themselves part of the Paul army, and they don't give a shit. They just show up to see whatever these guys are doing. And they're not even fans of the sport. They're like the Pauls have spawned a sea of trolls that just like to follow them, and they think that trollish behavior is cute and it's what they should be doing and shit. And I mean, and
they're backed up. No, they're backed up by white privilege, so they feel like that sense of invincibility. Yeah, that sense of invincibility because they don't suffer the repercussions of their actions was enabling their behavior. Because like straight up, like a year ago, the thought of like one of the Paul brothers fighting like Canelo, who I think that's like him. Like, he already beat Mayweather. I mean, he already fought Mayweather. I don't know if Pacquiao would accept. So Canelo's the only one. No, I'm talking about as far as the Paul brothers.
So here's the thing: they're never gonna fight real boxers. Jake Paul or Logan Paul fighting Canelo Alvarez will never happen because here's the thing.
But they did fight a real boxer though. He fought Mayweather.
That was
exhibition. I get
exhibition.
it.
No. That wasn't even an exhibition. That was just a spectacle, right? Floyd Mayweather, like, it didn't count toward Floyd's record, right?
No, because it was exhibition.
It was just something where Floyd was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make some money off this dumb bitch. Like, Floyd Mayweather is almost a brilliant businessman. Like, he knows what makes him money and what doesn't make him money. Right? And he got a daughter out here tripping who's getting pregnant by an NBA young boy, and he's just like, you know what, let me make some money to get her ass off of my books. That's pretty much what that was about.
So, okay. I do apologize about that.
No, it's all good, Trey. We saw your disappearing act like it was magic. So speaking of magic, let's go ahead and run our character of the week. Let's go ahead and roll that footage. Character of the week. Things that go bump in the night. Today's character of the week is a paranormal, occult, demonic detective, a common man magician, everyday man sorcerer, con man, John Constantine. The Hellblazer himself, John Constantine, created by Alan Moore and Stephen Bissette. The Hellblazer comic itself lasts between like 1988 to 2020. Originally, the early concept of him, he resembled Sting. I don't know, I get more of a Billy Idol vibe from him, but you know, that's just me. Basically, he was like, I want Sting, but dealing with some spooky stuff. Yeah. In my opinion, I feel like Constantine is probably like the best example of what an anti-hero is. I mean, literally, he is the definition of anti-hero. He's not good, he's not bad, he's just there. He does good, but for the wrong reasons. One of his early mishaps when dealing with magic was involving two demons. He had one girl was was fighting a demon, and then he decided to take another demon to fight that other demon, but a mispronunciation of the spell, he ended up dooming this little girl's soul to hell. That weighed heavily on his conscience, if he even has one. Another thing a lot of people forget about John Constantine is that he's also like bisexual. He's had both partners, male and female, even hooked up with Zatanna. Rumor has it he's had a thing with King Shark. I'm like, okay, again, to each his own. Is that even bisexual? That's bestiality at that. How does that even work? Dealing with a guy who uses magic, you're going to hear me use because comics a lot because there's no other way I can explain it. At one time, he was also a Dr. Fate or Agent of Fate. He was somehow able to get that off by technically killing Nabu, but he really didn't. It's Constantine. He does things that are beyond. Because comics. He comes from a long line of other wizards and magicians and warlocks. He has a bloodline called the Laughing Magician's bloodline. He's got demon blood infused into him, which allows him to do a lot of the dark magic stuff. One of the most because comics powers he probably has is called the Singularity Wave, which allows him essentially good luck to be at the right place at the right time. However, because the universe needs balance, a lot of the misfortune that would fall before him actually ends up on his friends and family, so yeah, don't end up on his Christmas list. So in media though, he's been featured in a feature film. See that? That is a hill. And this is the hill I'm gonna die on. Because I believe that the Keanu Reeves movie, Constantine, was actually not that bad. It was before Shia LaBeouf went crazy. It was right after The Matrix, so Keanu Reeves was still trying to, break out of the mold of wherever he tried to typecast him as. I saw no faults in that movie. It even had Gwen Stefani's ex-husband in it. It was a great movie. It even had the oddly attractive Gabriel angel. I might have said too much. So as great as that movie is, though, what most people recognize Constantine as is the guy who plays him right now, Matt Ryan. He was on a short-lived NBC show called Constantine, and then he somehow made his way to CW, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. He's also been a voice actor for Constantine on all the straight-to-DVD animated DC comic movies, such as Justice League Dark and Justice League Dark Apocalypse. We're going to give a salute to John Constantine, the guy who had the balls to walk up to Trigon and ask him to light a cigarette for him. Also, side note, the way he's pronounced it is not Constantine, it's Constantine. He's actually said it in the comics. But no one ever wants to say that. So, anyway, back to you guys. Like, share, subscribe. So yeah, like I said, go on YouTube, #Camisms, 2 words. I upload all these character weeks along with soon to be clips from the podcast on that YouTube page. So yeah, give me a follow. I could use the boost in numbers. I'm working really hard, y'all. Please just
applaud this man. Applaud the man. It was constant improvement over time.
I am evolving. I need y'all to grow with me.
Please appreciate my work, you sons of bitches. Please appreciate his work.
I mean, it's apropos that we were just talking about, magic and everything with Constantine. Because now we have to, real quick before we go into it, I gotta say, if ever, what is it, death battle? I want to see a death battle between Stephen Strange and John Constantine.
Constantine will win.
That. You sure about that?
Oh, Constantine will win.
I don't know, because Doctor Strange, he does some fuckery. He can.
I mean,
DC Comics.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why Constantine, if it came down to it, why Constantine would win over Doctor Strange. Because for all that Doctor Strange is, he's still a rich white guy with white guy privilege, and that's his power. That's his magic, his white privilege, and the thought process of being like, I can do whatever I want because I am rich and I'm white. While you got a guy like Constantine who grew up in a gutter, who this dude is like not like if it was a street fight, he's a guy that would kick you in the balls twice. So imagine what he would do with magic. No, but think about the
comes down to your social status, Cam. Like
no. But I'm saying like the fact that he's like the John McClane of magic. Like this dude will do whatever it takes to win.
But hold on. But also, so this the thing though. Stephen Strange's superpower is actually manipulating white guys, selfish white guys, into doing things that they really didn't want to do because he manipulated Tony's selfish ass into killing himself to save everybody. So
he didn't have to, but yeah,
he really didn't. But and Constantine is also like Constantine's from the gutter, but he's also very, very selfish. So like Stephen Strange can just be like, "Oh, selfish guy, we need your help. This will give you all the accolades or whatever it is that you want." Now go off yourself, please.
Okay, real quick. So we all saw Shang-Chi, right? Everybody saw it?
Not yet. I'm gonna see it tonight.
Nah, I'm going to see it next week.
Okay. There are 2 after credits. Everybody who's going to go see the movie, of course, it's the first theatrical Marvel movie we've got in a while. There are 2 after credits. Stay behind.
It's Asian Black Panther.
I will give a shout out to Ebony for using my hashtag because comics. Appreciate it.
Good job.
I just have to say this, just to piggyback on what you said, Trey. This pisses me off every single time. We've been in the MCU for 13 years, people. Stay behind for the fucking after credits. There's more to the movie. Like I went to go and see it at 9:00 and it's 11:30 and people are still, what the fuck do you have to go to at 12 o'clock at night, guys? It's a Friday. Stay behind. It's only a few more minutes. But continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, real quick. So on the Constantine Strange battle, Chuck Clark, Constantine would watch Dr. Deadass Strange. Basically, he basically borrows magic from entities. Constantine streaks and has magic on hand. Expect Constantine to cut a deal with the Vishanti before the fight to get. Wow.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Y'all gotta understand. Like I said, when I say that John Constantine is gutter, that dude is gutter. Like he will probably team up with Dormammu. You're like, hey, you hate Strange too, right? Yo, hey, give me some of your power. I'm gonna kill this dude. Who are you? In your he'll make up some bullshit like, oh, it's in your honor. And then Dormammu be like, all right, cool. I get rid of Strange. Let's do it. And then like I said, Constantine will do what it takes to win.
Checking the comments on YouTube. Wilbur Robertson said that. Logan Paul would. What's the tall cat in the WWE put against Braun Strowman? I don't know.
He is like y'all don't understand that. So what off camera guy just said is I'm making out Constantine to be like the Shogun of magic from hell, and I'm like, yeah, he is. He's
Constantine is a badass.
Constantine is ghetto rigged magic. Like he will figure out, he will patchwork and make that shit work. Like yeah, he and like I said, he's yeah. But we're gonna talk about Doctor Strange because we got a what if episode that happened. So spoilers for those who didn't see it.
Yes.
But yeah, this episode of What If made me rethink if the particular Doctor Strange that we see in Spider-Man Home Alone is actually Mephisto or not, because In my opinion, no, because if you think about what,
it's No Way Home.
I don't. It's
No.
Like, is there a fourth Spider-Man movie we don't know about? Like, what the
No, I'm just saying, like, Spider-Man, everything had to do with home. I forgot it. I blanked, so I just made up a home for Spider-Man 3. But no, what I'm saying is that everyone kept saying that's very out of characteristic for Doctor Strange because they're thinking that Doctor Strange is a good guy. Doctor Strange is an asshole with magic.
Yeah.
So he's selfish. Like before, people thought that he got humbled because he broke his hands and he couldn't do surgery no more, and he had to learn magic and to heal. And he realized that through the power of friendship and magic, he's become a better person. No, he found out another avenue. He found out another avenue on how to be an asshole with magic now. So he's still that same guy who thinks he can do whatever because. Who's to stop him? Like he learned magic that he wasn't supposed to learn because, hey, I can do this. I can get away with it. Like who's gonna stop me? And just because it works, he feels like, oh well, it worked this time. So hey, that's a good thing to happen. Yeah. And that's at 80% how he does magic.
I mean,
go ahead.
No, who's going? Sorry.
No, I was going to mention like how I think that I think Kang the Conqueror and Doctor Strange worked out a deal to figure out how to get the singularity of that mainstream universe working. So because what ended up happening is that what's his name? Tony Stark, if in one afternoon figured out how to manipulate the time stream, that's gonna mess with Kang. So Kang was like, hey, Ancient One, or hey, Strange, I need you to do something for me. And I think they set him up to get Tony Stark killed.
In the weird way that makes a lot of fucking sense. It really does. Jesus.
It doesn't. Okay, go ahead.
No. He's spot on. Like that's just boom. Just damn.
I'm waiting for someone else to do it. All right. Well, what could work? What could work though, or should have worked though. You know what? I think while Tony Stark was going through like the whole like time strain manipulation thing, what he figured out is that he can go to blerdsandwhiskey.com, go to the promo page, and go to Beard Struggle to because he said he can't go back in time and fix his beard, but what he can do is he can figure out like how to get a better mustache, better than Tony Stark than Doctor Strange. So he's like, yo, I can do essential beard oils, I can do beard combs, I can do beard brushes. I can do all this stuff, and that way I can out mustache Doctor Strange anytime. Take that, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Use the promo code Blerds to get 15% off your purchases. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Dear God. Okay. Checking the comments on YouTube. Comic books. I gotta ask: is anybody double masking it for the movie theater? Absolutely, yeah.
Of course,
double mask.
Of course we did.
And Jamaica, what's up with you? What was the realization shared with the rest of the class?
I think that was directed at her.
Oh, I'm talking about as far as the what Cam just said. As far as just he got mad at Doctor Strange got mad at Tony Stark.
No. I think Kang figured out that Tony Stark. Basically, like Tony Stark was messing around with timeline. He came in the back door, and Kang was over like, "Yo, who are you?" What? He looked down, saw somebody in the door. Like, who the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I know this mortal with the goatee did not.
But the thing is, so if there was a deal struck, keep in mind, Strange is the new Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU. Correct. The Ancient One would have struck a deal with Kang to have the sacred timeline. So that's probably what happened. And he's just now figuring out. Wong knows, but Wong is too preoccupied taking dives somewhere else.
He's babysitting Tony Doctor Strange.
I'm shutting up.
So are we going? So we're gonna talk about how Chuck Clark just said in the comments, but we're gonna talk about how one of the many angled ones made another appearance in What If.
It's Shimagoraf.
Yeah, it's definitely Shimagoraf. Like, at this point, I'm just like, all right, okay, you can just say it now. Like, give us a name. Yeah. But also, I want to know who that oddly strange, powerful, evil gnome was.
Like, no. Did you see the shade that they threw at DC? Who else did Strange eat in this episode? None other than the daughter of Trigon, Raven. He fucking ate Raven. Did you see
the six-sided bird?
The six-eyed.
He didn't even. But hold on, he didn't even eat the whole raven. He just ate her feathers. It's like, wow, Strange, you've been dating the wrong type of black girl. You're doing it wrong.
Leave no crumbs. So I actually have an interesting theory about the new Marvel, like the MCU now, because like I was thinking, because all right, so what if Showed was not a happy ending, and that's what I loved about this particular episode was not a happy ending, and the whole time Stephen Strange was like, no, all right, look, punish me. Bro, I can't. Like, you did this. Like, no, all right, I take this back. Well, it's too late now. Now the universe is dead.
His conversation with the Watcher. The Watcher got a little spicy on him. You did this to your damn self. Even if I could save you, really save you, motherfucker. And then zoomed out of that bitch.
Jeffrey Wright has infused a lot of black man into Uatu. Like he's definitely made Uatu a black man. Because like at one point he was looking at him, he wanted to be with your dumb ass. I told you not to do it. He said not to do it. And look at you. That's just simple ass dick. Get some ginger ale and take a nap.
Real quick though, when he was going through, because there's a portion in the episode where he's absorbing various entities to take over their power. But Uatu was standing behind him, and when he turned around and looked, he was like, Uatu got the fuck out of there. He wasn't stupid. Yep. He was like, this is some bad thing. Boop. Exactly.
So you gotta understand how bad something has to be for Uatu to be like right there. Like,
I want no smoke.
He was like, you want some smoke, man? No.
Definitely went. I mean, in the watch, just to piggyback on what Rick said, he was definitely like, this motherfucker gonna fuck up. Watch him fuck up. Yeah, he gonna fuck.
He hit him with the. Now, what did we learn? That was the close. This episode was episode 4. Episode 4 is the closest we've seen Uatu to actually be involved so far. Like, because he was like he was right over his shoulder in a half the episode, and then near the episode, he looked at him. He's like, "It's just me and you now. I'm just watching it." He's like, "Stop! Look, I'm sorry."
If I had the power to stop it, I wouldn't. Like you did this. You created the situation.
But there's one question that I have.
So
there's one question I have though, because apparently that Strange and Captain Carter is supposed to be showing up in a future one. What do y'all think?
That's speculation, man. Right?
No. They actually had the video. They actually had the what's the name in the trailers.
Which Strange? The Demon Strange?
Yes, the Strange Supreme.
Captain Carter.
Strange Supreme.
They do it. They have it. So there is a little clip, and it's a screenshot of Captain Carter talking to Strange Supreme, and Strange Supreme, like when she's talking to him, it looks like he's been through hell. Like it literally looks like he just got beat the fuck up. So that's I mean, I'm wondering about that myself. I think that Zombies episode is going to have a lot more. I think the Zombies episode is going to be a thread that kind of ties a lot more together than we would actually expect, because there has to be, in order for him to get pulled out of the world, he basically destroyed his universe, and he's going to get dragged out of that. So there has to be something completely catastrophic to be going on.
Well, see, the thing is, the episode ended with him with him being zoomed away. I honestly think he's like the last living being in that universe.
So
he's forever alone.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, he's also encased in a crystal. So Marvel has a tendency to make baubles and jewels and stuff like that to use power.
Infinity Stones, the MCon crystal.
So are you saying that he's going to release like a contest of champions? So now I got to pay $2.99 and I got to spend the stone.
Yes, you got to spend the stone. But no, he could be like somebody, because you can travel from universe to universe, and he's technically just the last shred of his universe that's in the great in between. So somebody could find that and be like, and you can tap into all the power that he's using. He would be a trinket, a bauble that gives more power. Or a battery.
I might say he's in the in between universe. So his universe completely evaporated, and he's like the last living being there. So he's forever alone, trapped in the in between in order to survive. Mm-hmm. So if he's trapped in between, obviously if there's a multiverse, someone can find their way in between, like passing through, or or he could piggyback off of someone going through one of those dimensions. He's like, oh hey, there's a ride. Yeah. So then it's been a while. We haven't actually made Trey angry yet, so I think I got something that can do that today.
Why?
Shoot.
What did I do to you?
So I saw this on TikTok. My boy Mace shared this clip with me, and it made perfect sense for a bit. Now that MCU is because like I said, now we're in a post-snap MCU phase, whatever. What are the chances of mutants showing up now? We got the Eternals, right? Yeah. The Eternals could segue into mutants being around, technically. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe my theory is maybe the snap brought back people a little bit differently. That could be the I said that. Hear me out. So instead of mutants already being here, let's say mutants are kind of like created through the snap, right? My personal opinion, and I agree with this TikTok, I wish I remember her name right now, but they had a theory that if they do involve X-Men or mutants in the new MCU, that they should like do away without Xavier or Magneto this time and just do mutants alone. Like just a group of mutants. Because they're already a minority and disenfranchised and the world hates superpower people right now. They could be people who are born out of the snap. People who came back from the snap are already like looked at as like outcasts or pariahs anyway. Except for Falcon maybe. But yeah, for the most part, like maybe the snap that brings these new people with powers, and you got no Xavier, no Magneto. I'm tired of that love story. Like there's just two bitter Lex lovers just using their kids to fight each other. Like that's what all the X-Men has been. And like we can do away with it. We can start a new disenfranchised. All right, so think of it. The Avengers are pretty much white privilege right now. They have the privilege of being famous. They're not outcasts. The Sokovia Accords, there's already been there, done that. Most people are already like over it right now. So then you got a group of people who have superpowers who aren't privileged, who don't have the money that Stark has, who don't have technology, who don't have the fame, who don't have the prestige of already going through all this stuff. So now you got like this anti-establishment, this Antifa of superpowers without Magneto or things. So they can easily just like fight like the Avengers and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm thinking that could be a good introduction to mutants without being involved with Magneto the old ways. MCU.
I like outside the box thinking as much as the next person. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Ooh, I'm making everyone.
I don't know. Like I'm not. I don't want to like have like a full on out debate about it. But I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
Because is it because it's not canon?
No, it's not because it's not canon. It's just I just don't like it. I gotta think on this for a little bit, but I feel like I need to take a shower now. For some reason, I think it just made me feel gross. Like it just someone just touched me inappropriately, and I don't like.
Oh no! So Mr. Prophet, what do you think?
He's off-camera guy is no. You can't. You have to have those two. First off, you have to have Magneto and Professor Xavier for one reason only, and I'm surprised you would say something like that, because they are still the representation. What?
Keep going. No, keep going.
They're still the what do you call it? They're the representation of Martin Luther King and Professor X. I mean, Malcolm X. So, like, we got to have them. Like, they do represent us a little bit in that stance. Now, what probably could end up happening, we could end up with an actual black version of them. We could end up with that because Disney is, trying to be inclusive and everything. But no, you can't do the X-Men. You can't even call it the X-Men without Xavier. What that?
Actually, you can, because the original creation of the X-Men is like, they're men, they're humans, but they have like an extraordinary ability, an extraordinary talent. That was the actual. Like, I will bring up X-Men issue number 1 and screenshot it and show it to you. That it had nothing to do with the fact that Professor X
called them. They're literally his team.
Yeah, but he didn't call them X-Men because it's named after him. I'm Professor Charles Xavier. You guys are my X-Men. Like, no, that wasn't it.
It's for the X gene. That's what I thought.
No,
yeah.
I thought it was
it would be cool though if this MCU, because the MCU is halfway in like our modern society. What if they make it as though those the reason why they're so close to being allegories from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King is if they are reincarnated versions of those people. Like after they were executed, somehow their souls found their way to somebody else. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
But so to paraphrase how Trey was like their allegory for Black people, that didn't happen until later. To be honest, that wasn't the original version of.
Stan Lee said it.
No, Stan Lee, when he created X-Men, he got tired of trying to create origins for a character, so he just said, "All right, fuck it, they're born with it." That was it. That had nothing to do with Black
that's
struggle.
how he came up with mutants. But
it had nothing to do with the Black struggle when he originally created it. Later on, it became. So later on, what ended up happening is that it ended up becoming that allegory because people looked at it like, "Oh, this is kind of really strong." He goes, "You know what? Yeah, this could work." But when he created X-Men, he didn't originally think, "Oh, I'm gonna make a comic about Black people."
So what you're saying is he kind of got the same credit that Abe Lincoln gets for freeing the slaves.
Yeah, it kind of just happened, and people like gravitated towards, and he's just like, "You know what? You're not wrong."
Yeah, this makes me a good person now. I'm gonna go with
it. Yeah.
I mean.
So they can do the X-Men without Xavier and still make it an allegory for Black people because if you look at because if they treat mutants like second-class citizens, especially like I said, post-snap, they're born or develop powers out of nowhere, and then you get like I said, like it's 2021. Who was still alive from the Holocaust? That could be a credible threat.
So Comic Box just said that on YouTube. He's like, how can they say Professor Xavier and Magneto was in World War II when, sorry to say, most of their era are no longer with us? Netflix, they upgraded the Punisher from being a Vietnam War veteran to being a Desert Storm veteran.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, and even that was a little bit that's almost a little bit too far. Yeah. So I mean, they have to update it in some type of way because honestly, Magneto can't be a Holocaust survivor at this point because then we're going to need then Ian McClellan really is going to be Magneto.
Because you're in 2025 at this point, so I mean, like,
so you're gonna be sitting there like with a wrinkled finger. I'm going to end you. Like, you're gonna end yourself, man. Like, no.
Well, they could do that, but they could also have the explanation that the X gene, they're the next evolutionary step in humans, so they have longer lifespans.
So, but
could be one excuse.
But again, to counteract what you're saying, if you're saying that the X gene is what made them longevity, that means that they were mutants way before the snap, which is not true.
Yeah,
because mutants didn't exist until like
Logan.
Logan, you're going, but Logan.
No, off-camera guys said something about how. Never mind. Anyway, keep.
Yeah, I'm about to say the MCU mutants. There's so far there haven't been anyone who's been a mutant power. Like even Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they only got their powers because in close proximity of the Mind Stone.
So
they weren't born with that.
And we all like, I don't know, we've all have to come to terms with the fact that mutants are going to come in, but it's not going to be the way that we remember it being because the timelines don't match anymore. So they have to change. Like they have to change it. That's why, like, I mean, I honestly, when I heard about them wanting to do a Black version of Xavier and Magneto, I actually got pretty excited about that because that continuity actually works. You know what I mean? As opposed to just continuing down the same path that we've always been used to. But again, Cam, I still don't like your take on it because it just makes me feel gross. it makes me feel really gross.
Checking the comments on YouTube. Obsidian Mind 82, Camism, you're on the right track regards to the X-Men and the MCU. When you go to see the Shang-Chi, pay close attention to the Eternals trailer that plays before. Yes, the trailer that was in. I didn't want to say anything. Go watch the damn movie.
But that's actually what alluding to. The Eternals could also help give birth to mutants too.
Yeah, but that's just the thing. That's so canonically the Eternals when they seeded Earth. There were so many people coming to Earth because of apparently whatever reason, but the Celestials seeded the Earth. You got humans, you had Eternals, and you had Deviants. The Deviants and Eternals were supposed to be fighting each other. Humans were supposed to some of them had been seeded with an X gene in the beginning, so that at the end of that, at some period of time when they come back to harvest a planet, they can do that, but they had to have more forces there capable of protecting the celestial egg inside the Earth. So, yeah, they mutants have been around canonically for a long ass time.
Well,
like 10, and that's the other thing in Eternals trailer. They said we've been here for 10,000 years. So 10,000 years ago is when that X gene would have been planted.
But the thing is, like, mutants and mutates are two different like classes.
I know.
So like you got like people who are like Spider-Man who have the predisposition body type to receive powers, as opposed to people who are born with the X gene.
Yes.
So essentially, what you're saying is Eternals are celestial gentrifiers.
Wait, what?
No.
So yeah, Eternals are basically celestial gentrifiers. You said like like Eternals and Deviants, they came to Earth because Earth was like this hot new property.
It's just.
No, they're not taking over anything. They gave man fire. Like that's what they did. They created the Celestials. The Celestials created the Eternals, the Deviants, and humans. I mean, or they had humans here, and they created the damn it, you got me confused. Deviants and Eternals. They created them. They gave some humans the genes that they needed to be mutates, and then the Kree came down and made Inhumans. Like people were fucking with the genes for a while, for a long ass time. So that's why you have different people who have different stuff later on. But yes, gentrification.
Could you imagine in our society where we're at right now, where people are raging out about having to wear masks all the time because what they read in the El Biblioteca? That could you imagine if we had these cosmic entities coming down and experimenting with people and all of that shit? How people would actually react to it? Like, could you imagine how crazy that shit would actually be? Like people, like a bunch of QAnon conspirators just believing that they're showed that I have the X gene within me because it was so like, and it's just like, no, your stupid ass doesn't. Like, could you that would be some shit I should write that movie.
Stupid people with powers.
Go ahead and write that down, Rick. Yeah, you definitely do.
All right,
last time, checking the comments on Facebook this time. Chuck Clark.
Don't read it. don't.
Suicide notes. They're going to pull a Captain Marvel movie and say, we always knew about them. We just didn't mention them because the Skrulls ain't you motherfuckers' business. That could happen. So
Nick Fury probably does know about them.
I think it's one of two things. Either the snap creates them, then we have to go around down the road of changing things up, which I don't really like. But it's MCU, I'm okay.
Not Marvel.
I know. I don't like it. Doesn't mean
Shout out to Venom.
That's Sony, your ass. Or they've been hidden. Charles Xavier is powerful enough to do it. If they did that, made everybody forget about it. And they have longer lifespans because they're mutants. They live longer than us. So that's why he can still be, a middle-aged man that survive, stuff like that could happen.
Up to it.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, just up.
Tyson Fury is not under 30.
Like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms. Go and get some merch because, guys, we need your support.
Because
we broke, niggas. We broke.
We broke. Broke, pop, broke. Up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it.
Drink, motherfucker, drink.
Good night.
And we out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blerds and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blerdsandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.